Pascal, huh? I think either a robot from Nier Automata or a dog from early Shin Megami Tensei. Or the character from Tales of Graces. And I think all of them are named after the same, historical person. That is an interesting quote. Yeah, basically just an are you paying attention question. It was Pascal. Probably was not you. Although a lot of people misunderstand Nietzsche from what I've heard. Yeah, Blaise Pascal, who I think was more of a mathematician, but he did some philosophy. I thought I was going to say something like Yosuke. More people coming up to us at lunchtime. Who is it this time? It's Naoki Konishi, and we're actually going to be seeing him today. So things do get a little bit spiced up in the daily life segments as we go through. We're unlocking more social links and doing more ranks of social links like kanjis that we hadn't really started on much before. Actually, I forgot to show this last time, but if you talk to Adachi now... Yep, we're plot locked out of his next rank up for a little while. I don't really know. Depends on if you think you're ready for that or not. Okay, get ready to be depressed again, because we're gonna be doing another rank up of Hangman.
Yes.
We're just thinking about the Hangman characters in P3, 4, and 5, and a lot of the time they're characters who are reasonably popular, but not the most popular in their respective games. Like, none of them are really disliked, but none of them are extremely popular either. A lot of people have fun school stories like that. I wonder if that guy was actually, you know, the running student. So B is weirdly the best option here. But I guess laughing at your own failures can be quite therapeutic. Oh no. It's that same term again. What, really? Oh, wow, seriously. And this too, everyone grieves in their own way. That's not true either. Everyone has to deal with obligatory jerks in most of their social links, but I actually think Naoki has it the worst. Like, I am legitimately angry at those two now. So, this one, I forget if this is the one where these options require, like, if that one requires courage and that one requires understanding. Either A or C works.
No, it's okay.
I know there is one dialogue option. I think it actually comes later in this one. By this one, I mean this social link. There's two options that are equally good, but one requires understanding and the other requires courage. This line, though, I also think this is a very good line. It's just, his social link is really, really important, I find, because there is a lot of people who have this issue. You do want to show sympathy to people who've gone through tragedy, but you need to do it in the right way, and if you don't do it right, you can easily come across like this, and just always treating them like a victim, not really understanding how they feel, not realizing that everyone deals with these kind of things differently.
I'll see you again.
And I've said, in the worst case scenario, it'll feel like they're only doing it to make themselves feel better.
Welcome back.
And welcome, Korn! In the words of something that I have never actually seen, but I have seen referenced in Let's Plays a lot, gentlemen, behold, Korn! Okay, we got one of each. It is actually random, I think, and you do need one of each for a later quest, but I would like to grow more corn, but I guess I'll do tomatoes. They're quick. Because regardless of this quest, you want to grow tetracorn and makara corn as much as possible. They're really, really, really useful. And tonight is another night where we can check the fridge. A cup of flan. Oh. 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 We are a horrible person for doing this, but it gives you courage, so we have to. I'm so sorry. As much as I feel that's kind of out of character, according to Persona Q, it's actually canon, because one of the lines that Yu Narukami, or the P4 protagonist, can randomly say while he's, I think, asleep, it's either asleep or confused, but I think it's asleep, is to mumble, "I'm sorry I ate your flan." So, yeah, of all things, that's canon. Oh boy, those stickers. But it's finished. We have the MF06S Brahmin. We can display it on our shelf, but we need to show it to that man in order to complete the quest. They wouldn't take away a shelf decoration though, so you do still get to keep it. He mostly just wanted proof the model's been well loved. He didn't really want the model himself. Unfortunately, we're not going to be hanging out with you today. But in terms of models, I'm just reminded of how when I was very young, I mean very, very young, my grandfather used to get me, like, models of World War II era planes, like Spitfires. And I'd make those. I think I used sort of like an oil enamel-based paints, which they're much more awkward to use than water-based paints. But that was kind of what we had to do, and I know that we had stickers for those, and they were a complete pain. But not nearly as much of a pain as transfers for Warhammer models, which, thanks to their painting tutorials, like seriously, Duncan Rhodes is amazing, I finally learned, like, how you actually use those. You kind of have to mat down the surface first, and then you have to slide, like, okay, one tip that I think really, really helps is move the transfer onto the model with a wet paintbrush, not with tweezers or your fingers or anything. Slide it on with a paintbrush. That actually works so much better because I just kept tearing the transfers all the time before. But at least this guy's feeling better about things now. So that's quest done. And also, we get another unfinished model. We'll want to talk to this guy all throughout the game because he'll be giving us more models to make, and all of them can be displayed in our room. They're not really necessary for anything other than boosting diligence slightly, but for the purpose of this playthrough, we're going to be going for making all of them. Most of it will be done at the very end of the game when we have a lot of night free time. You can also work on them on Sundays, but that takes up the entire afternoon. Was that perfect? No. I think that was almost perfect. The timing is so hard to get on the PSTV, it's apparently, like I've said, a lot easier on Steam. And there's that cat that I was talking about before. Also Chie. It's interesting, I feel like when I said that Chie was my second favorite romance route, I feel like it's not a very popular opinion. Like, not a lot of people like her that much from what I've found. Like, I generally feel like the best I hear about her is she's okay. But honestly, it's the fact that she's not a popular option that is the reason why she's my second favorite romance option. I'll get more into that, well, it's not until far later. I just really, really like a later scene with her on the romance route. Are they a fake meat trafficking ring? Well, right now, not really. We'd better keep on the lookout, though. Of course you are. Yeah, wow, that option sucks. Yeah, I hate bullies, but this is coming from someone who was bullied pretty much all through school, so yeah. This is another one of those rank ups where the best options are pretty obvious. Those are like the opening lines of your movie. And, well, this is kind of starting. There are always sort of romantic hints for all of the romance social links before you get to the turning point. Which can be kind of awkward if you're not planning on romancing them. But this rank up is amazing because Revolution! This skill is the better version of Rebellion. Now, when it says raises critical rate all, it does mean all. It affects enemies as well, but I think it's a small price to pay for increasing the crit rate of your entire party, and it's great against hands, so we're going to get rid of Rebellion for that. Revolution also stacks with Apt Pupil very well.
Don't think, feel.
But yeah, tonight, weirdly, we're actually reload abusing for 3 points in knowledge from studying. Not really sure why the guy does that, but I won't question it. We need a lot of knowledge for later on. Okay, that took 3 attempts. But while I'm doing this, I could just go on a little bit of a tangent about the whole romance route thing. So the fact that everyone still shows romantic hints even before, it does mean that for the romance that you do choose to do, or all of them as some people choose, it at least feels like it's developed naturally. The problem with, like, I was thinking for a moment about how it's handled in Fire Emblem Awakening with S supports. Usually there's no romantic subtext in those until the S, and on the one hand it means that if you're not actually shipping those characters, then there's no awkwardness to get their C, B, and A. But on the other hand, it means that for some romantic supports, the S can kind of completely come out of nowhere and just, they had to awkwardly shoehorn in a reason for the characters to have actually been in love with each other the whole time, even if they were just talking about, I don't know, practicing singing, or being more confident, or doing random training tasks. That definitely does get awkward. But on the other hand, it's also awkward if you've got romantic hints that are there. For example, I think this happens in Gregor and Cordelia's supports in Awakening. Gregor hints that he's fallen for her even before the S, and that gets really awkward if either he or she are already married. Especially if he's already married. And yeah, we're spending time with Kanji today, by the way. So it's just kind of a, like, optional romance paths, how to write them is always a tricky dilemma. Especially when it comes to giving a lot of players a variety of romantic interests, because there's a lot of different tastes and different players won't always want to go for the same ones. So if you push one over the others, sometimes people won't like it, but that can also be awkward for the story. It's really complicated, honestly. Part of why sometimes I prefer when there's just only one romance and it's worked into the story and there really aren't any other mechanics like that. She said quite a few things.
That's so.
Yeah, true. We know even more about him now. You know, like I said before, I don't think a lot of people like hospitals. Well, that's awful. I mean, that might not be the best way to phrase things, but I can see where he's coming from.
Senpai. The hell?
I trust Kanji. He's not going to beat someone up. You know what he's actually doing? Yeah, just searching the river for this. Now, this gives me flashbacks to a lot of, me and my sister have had a few lost toy incidents like this. Yeah, it's probably long gone by now, sadly. I think Kanji's got an idea. Always happy to help. No, I think you did exactly what he needed. This is the beginning of probably my favorite social link subplot in the entire game. I love this and I love where it ends up going. There's a reason that elements of this were worked into Kanji's debut episode in the anime. And Kanji gets a new skill out of this, Masaku Unda, lowering the accuracy and evasion of all enemies. It's very good against hands and against most things. Kanji's not just a powerhouse, he also learns some really good skills that not only make him hit harder and hit more often, but also help the rest of the party. The question is what to get rid of for it, though. Honestly, I don't really find myself using this all that much. Masaku Unda is really good, though. I'd recommend keeping this. Oh yeah, I've had that feeling before. I hate that feeling. Really, really hate it.
Later.
Especially since I always associate that feeling with the one time I got that feeling quite badly, and then the next day I got a really awful cold. And tonight we're doing another Devil rank up, and we've got the Peach Seed combo, which is nice, and that gives us 3 prize stickers, I believe, but you want to make sure that you have an Emperor Arcana persona on you right now, like before you end the night, because tomorrow we're going to have to accept a lunchtime invite from Kanji, and on one of my test files I didn't accept this, and Kanji didn't rank up next time. So I think this actually is needed for, like, maximum points. And I don't know why I was walking that way. Force of habit, I guess. Well, that creepy old lady wasn't there before.
My.
We are frantically looking through the pages of 100 ghost stories to see if we can find that story in there. The old mourning lady in the hospital. Not many people could see that old lady after all. It's actually A that gives you the most points here. Wouldn't exactly say starving. Okay then, but yeah, you actually have to say this for the most points here. Okay, so you would be maybe around mid-20s then. Yeah, the time does fly after you leave high school. Okay then. I said before that I do find Sayoko a very interesting character. Yeah, that's one way to put it. She seems to have some issues, though. Maybe she doesn't like the way her life turned out and is wishing other people could share her pain.
I'll see you again.
Who was that old lady, though? So, as I was saying, this is where we have to accept a lunch invite. So we won't have time to go to the Velvet Room and get an Emperor persona for this one. So make sure you have one before ending last night. Not really sure how school lets him get away with wearing that shirt, but it lets this teacher get away with having a puppet, so Yasugami is weird. Yeah, it means encouragement of learning. Susume, it sounds a little bit like the Japanese word susumu, which literally means progressing towards, but it often means things like moving forward, encouraging, progressing. Yeah, that sounds like a loose translation of a line from that. Every time, though, I hear... Yeah, every time I hear about the Declaration of Independence... Another Are You Listening thing, but it's the US Declaration of Independence. And every time I hear about that, I keep thinking about the puzzle in Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego, where you had to put the Declaration of Independence back in order, which, for a kid who is not American, was an absolute nightmare. I'm sure it would be easier now because I know more about the way language works, so I'd understand which paragraphs naturally flow into the next paragraph, but like, again, for like someone who was only maybe around 12, 11, 10-ish, because that was about year 4 of my primary school when I discovered that game, and was not American, because I'm guessing a lot of American children were actually taught the Declaration, that was an absolute pain. That case in general was a complete pain. The whole Thomas Jefferson Declaration of Independence case in Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego. I don't know how many people have played that game, but I played a lot of edutainment games growing up because you could buy them through like a school subscription service. So I played a lot of the Carmen Sandiegos. It actually looked very different in the anime, but, well, I guess they had to take liberties. Yeah, I knew Kanji could make something impressive. It's probably even better than the original. Unique accessories for each one, too.
Well...
This must be really hard, considering how people treated him growing up, but I just love this moment so much. One of my favorite Social Link moments. It's just that thing that Kanji was always mocked for, and then someone finally tells him that they think he's cool for it. It must be a really great feeling. Well, it definitely is. I've certainly seen some pretty ridiculously high-quality fan plushes out there. You could make those. Some of them are crazily expensive, though. I mean, it probably takes a lot of money to make them in the first place, but I mean, I kind of feel like people should maybe price those down a little bit, because some of them are kind of insane. But there are a lot of official ones that are reasonably priced that are pretty good as well. I suppose while on the subject of Kanji's Social Link, I can be open about something that, I don't know, like some people, I guess in Japanese works is typically considered a feminine thing, but not so much over here. I actually collect plushes. I have a lot of them. I even have an Izanagi plush, actually. It's merchandise for the P4 anime. Just found it like in an anime store one time. There was also like a Chie plush I saw at a convention once. I decided not to get that because I may have said this in a video before, but I just find like the idea of a plush of a realistic human character to be a little bit weird. But yeah, the Izanagi's pretty cool. But like, I have so many. Like, my parents used to get them for me as birthday and Christmas presents. So I've got like this. I've got a Groudon. I've got a shiny Rayquaza, shiny Mega Rayquaza actually. Chestnuts. I got like a Ratchet one from the newer Ratchet and Clank games. Wreck-It Ralph. Pretty good Fluttershy that I got recently. Yeah, I have quite a big collection. Okay, so tonight is yet another night for Devil. And since we didn't get an opportunity to catch bugs, I'm going to go ahead and do that. While I'm trying, I guess I can mention some, like, random story. I used to get those plushes imported from a place in Hawaii that sold them, but it went dead at one point. I think my Pokemon ones these days mostly come from a place called Pokevaults, which is pretty expensive, but they come directly from Japan and actually arrive... Well, Australia's close to Japan, so the shipping isn't that expensive from there as well, so that's a bit of an advantage. And yeah, every time you do the hospital janitor job, you always get +1 courage and +2 if you have read the Ghost Stories book. So that's why we didn't start this job until we'd read that. She's back! Don't let her touch you, she might pull you into the realm of the dead. Or, you know, she could just be a nice old lady.
Is that so?
Well, that was an interesting meeting. So she told us where she usually hangs out, and said we might meet again. I think you all know what that implies.
Oh, you're here.
That sounded really resentful. There better not be blood there. Oh, I don't want to know. Oh, okay, one of those people. Well, that rate you'll probably end up back here again soon. You know, in Japan, that's more just obligatory politeness than actually sincere most of the time. Oh. Okay, then. Yeah, we're starting to find out what's going on with you. Everyone is more than they appear. I can really see what she means by people only relying on her when they're sick, and then when they're discharged, that's it. She never sees them again.
Nice work.
So today it's raining, and instead of doing Mega Beef Bowl, we're gonna go and see the Fox to rank up Hermits. Really, nothing much else to say here. We're getting pretty close to what would have been Risei's deadline. Are you saying anything new? You are? That's interesting to think about, but of course, you know, a famous celebrity coming to town, it would be the thing that would be on everyone's minds. Anyway, as always, this rank up is identical to every previous rank up, so I'll just speed through it. I wish things were different, but they are not. But we're getting into the higher ranks of Hermit. Next time we'll be accepting the quest for rank 7. I'm still not really sure why a lot of other guides don't rank this one up quickly at all. Like, they save it until very, very late into the game. And because it's raining, we can't catch bugs. So what we're going to be doing today is spending time with Devil, because unfortunately, all of the there's only one choice in the last rank up that gave points, and all of the options give +2, and you need 3 for the rank 5. So you'll always be 1 point short. Even though it seemed like we picked a wrong choice for the last one, apparently all the choices there give 0, so yeah. We need this spend time. And it still gives you a courage boost, so if anything, slowing down this social link a little bit is kind of beneficial. And there we go, relationship will become closer soon. That's the one extra point that we needed. Always annoying when that happens, but I think it's unavoidable. Although, admittedly, I think you, maybe you could avoid that via the shrine, now that I think about it. Although the shrine uses time anyway, so it's not like it makes much of a difference. You're going to lose one night regardless. And so today, we're going to accept the next quest from the Fox, and then we'll just be riding the scooter around the neighborhood. Very soon, we will have reached 3 scooter rides, and that unlocks something very interesting. But first, let's see what the Fox, has for us next. Let's see what your next money-making scheme is. Are you aware that one day Risei is going to basically invalidate the need for us paying you? Okay. It appears this was written by a tsundere. So, Quest 12, I wish I was better at speaking. This one is actually pretty tricky. We'll get to it later, but it requires a lot of very high social stats. So it may take a while depending on how diligent you've been with upgrading all of your stats, although diligence is one of the things that you don't actually need. I believe it's just courage and expression that you need for this, but they need to be quite high. And so, Yu Narukami continues to get better at scooter riding. Hey, coming to the hill this time. It's amazing that we only got this out of a vain attempt to hit on girls, but now we're actually becoming pretty proficient with this. It's funny how both times we did it were during rain, but it makes sense because there isn't much else to do in rain.
And now the weather. The week ended on a wet note as rain clouds moved into the area. As a result, a thick fog is expected to form in the Inaba region later tonight.
Speaking of weather, as you can probably tell, tonight is Risei's deadline. And because of that, we're forced to go, well actually, no, we can harvest vegetables first, but then we're forced to watch the Midnight Channel. So, I will be ending things here, because tomorrow, a lot of stuff is gonna be happening, and I do mean a lot of stuff. Might as well try planting some wall paprikas, because haven't shown those before. But yeah, see you tomorrow for a very, very crazy day.